Nice.
You immediately see that Toucan is barely alive, Swallow is not at all alive.
Okay, I take out another potion
Uh-huh.
and throw it down Toucan's mouth.
Okay.
6.
Okay. You pour it down Toucan's throat, and although still not conscious, it looks to be stable and healed somewhat. Possibly still the shock of what's just gone on. He's not woken up yet.
And then I drag him.
Okay.
Back
You
to Bob.
start to drag him away.
I had drug. That's some word wrong.
I'll
Styx.
drug you, man.
Come on, quick.
I think I'm gonna do an investigation to have a look around like I did earlier because I didn't see anything immediate.
Do it.
Quick.
21.
Not enough time left.
You immediately start looking around, and you see 3 people that you don't recognize that are dressed very oddly. And you also see 2 Fenrisian villagers who, if they are alive, are just barely so. They look all 5 of them look very badly off.
Which is the most logic of them to grab, based on their life signs?
The nearest one that looks to be possibly alive is one of the odd ones that you don't recognize.
Yeah, they come with my guards. I'm gonna grab him and try and drag him out.
Okay. You go to drag
No,
him out.
I'm gonna tell him that his god has blessed him. I'm gonna cast use low hands actually.
Okay.
Just give him 5 hit points.
Brilliant. There we go. And that is the timer. So we will finish this round, and that will be the end of the event. Who is next to go in the round?
It would have been me.
That would be you. Yep. Taylor.
Oh, just what I'm doing then?
What were you doing again?
I had just jumped off the ship. I was going to run.
Steven.
I was going to run and look for anyone else that might have been off the ship.
Right.
And down my own health potion.
Okay. Give me a
Ow.
investigation roll.
Down roll my potion. Hey, 6 hit points.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know why that went back up there.
And you don't manage to see anyone with that roll that looks to be alive.
Oh, are there any buildings that are not on fire?
No.
Oh,
And
is there anything not on fire?
not really. Not really. This thing crashing pretty much did a number on it.
Oh, okay.
It
Looking
was a
for
very
places
small
to
place.
hide.
Very small place. There is a rise up on the hill that looks to be fairly safe.
I will make my way for the top of that hill.
Okay.
Just one to get a view as well, but yeah.
And Madman.
I think my remaining running is enough to actually catch up to the ship.
Uh-huh.
And can I see anyone on the ship, like from where I'm standing?
Give me a perception.
Don't forget about your roll.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice. And then give me the wolf's perception with advantage.
I thought it was investigation.
Sorry,
it's advantage.
Investigation with advantage. Yeah.
That
My
wolf.
wolf sucks at finding people. It's a
It's hard.
horrible rescue dog. It's a
Hungry.
killing dog. It's a
Keep
killing
thinking-
dog.
It's hard to smell living people when you're a ghost.
Yes, to be fair.
And when there's a bunch of burning corpses.
Okay, but
That's
what
it.
do I see?
You actually see quite a bit. You see half a dozen Fenrisians in various states of unconsciousness or death. Hard to tell which. You see a number of very odd, 3 in fact, small childlike people with odd clothing. 2 of which are obviously dead, 1 which may not be dead. And you also see, sticking out of the rubble of one of the crushed and burning buildings, an arm wearing a bone bracer that looks very familiar.
Okay.
As the Jarl's bracer.
Okay. I guess
Take it.
Harald would have this he would kind of freeze in front of the thing and just yell into the fire, "Why this, Tumra?" And then he would run towards what he thinks is the Jarl.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe just punch the ship while he runs past it.
Okay.
Because fuck this ship.
So, as that timer has now come to an end, at this point, the burning on the ship has become so intense. The flames have picked up enough that you have really no choice but to retreat back a distance from it. It's gotten too hot to stay within the ship. And you kind of retreat back, and the 6 of you find yourself standing kind of on this rise that leads actually back up towards the hilltop you've just come down from, Madman.
Mm-hmm.
Along with a very large gray-skinned creature, which you Fenrisians have no... Got it, Jamie. Have a crappy day at work.
She missed a crappy one. Just here to have a day at work.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah, all of you see this creature, which you have no frame of reference even for. You also see a Fenrisian woman who is starting to come to after somehow surviving. One of the small childlike beings with a beard, and also a young human in very strange clothing, which Doc and Taylor you recognize as Norman.
Nice. Okay. So we've saved Bob, Chukan, and Norman.
Yes, and a Fenrisian woman, who, for the Fenrisians, you actually know is Kaleth.
You don't have her in the thing.
No, you don't.
She is a nameless person, basically.
Okay. Okay, I thought it was something.
Change the
someone
A to
we
an
were
E, it's
supposed to know.
Keyleth.
Yeah, but it's not. It's Kaleth.
Reference.
Actually, I got the name from Kales from Star Trek, but...
Okay.
Okay.
And you watch as basically the remainder of the ship burns up. Madman, because the Jarl's hut is a little bit further off to the side, you can still make some attempt to do something about that if you want to.
At the very least, he would try to dig him out.
Yeah, you proceed to go ahead and lift the wreckage and kind of throw it off of him. And you find he is very much likely to be dead, considering part of the roof is going through his neck.
I have herbalism.
Hey man, you never know. He was a tough son of a bitch in life.
Yeah, exactly. Can I have a paste that I've made with flowers and shit and some mud. And I spit in it, and there's some blood in it too. And my master has said that it should stop any bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. He told me so.
Are you going to pull the roof out of his neck before you apply it?
No, he will kind of leave it in, but kind of try to, around it.
I know what I'm gonna do.
And scream for help, of course.
Iceberg will will basically just begin shouting out in War Cant is our default language, right? Not Javik or Javik.
Well, home cant is what you would use at the village. War cant would be what you would use in battle.
Yeah, and this.
Okay, he's using home cant then to try to just gather if there's any survivors at all. Maybe someone ran or something. Either way.
And I should point out by this time the rain should start coming down from my thing.
Yep. So
So,
about this time, as everything is engulfed in flame, a icy, bitterly cold rain starts coming down on all of you.
That's a good scene. And death.
Yeah.
Fire and ice, rain.
Meanwhile, I'm on top of this hill
And
watching.
and Harald just having the Jarl's body in his arms, like no.
I mean, is the rain dangerous? You
Yeah.
definitely don't want to be caught outside, right?
I mean,
it'd be
it's
dangerous for
It's not
long term.
dangerous unless you're talking about the danger of being soaked through and catching hypothermia or something.
yeah.
You
Which
could probably
is,
hang out inside the remains of the ship, right?
no, the entire ship, the remains of the ship are engulfed in flame.
The remains of the village as well is engulfed in flame. Correct.
Well, the remains of the village are
rain-
under the remains of the ship.
Got it.
Wouldn't the rain put it out?
Eventually,
would-
right now it's burning too hot for that.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't spread, and at least it's contained to that area. So we can figure out a way to deal with wet clothes later.
Yeah,
Is Bob awake?
about the time that Madman's character is coming over carrying the body of the Jarl. Do you bring the head as well? Because if you go to start to move him, the head actually comes separate from the body.
Okay, so the mud didn't help. Are you saying?
No, it didn't. No.
Okay. In that case, I guess I would bring the body with shit. How do I even transport this? And the head kind of on top of the body, like that.
And his do you also put his axe there? I'm going to give you this.
I'm sorry. What?
Do you also bring his axe, or do you leave it in the
The axe is on his chest. Like I've kind of
Okay.
placed it on his chest like this, and
Got it.
he would just carry him like. Ah!
Got it. Yeah. So
Screaming the pain of lost leadership.
Yeah, so, and there we are, with all of you standing on a hill, looking down at the remains. At this point, with the rain coming down, it's worth noting that the topmost kind of deck of the ship, the flames are starting to go out because of the rain hitting, but all of the wood and everything else that is under that layer, so the actual interior rooms and everything else of the ship are still in flames because they're protected from the rain by that top level.
And I'm guessing that they have some magic shit down there that kind of enhance the burning. Like a helm, I'm guessing burns when it explodes or something. I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
the helm is destroyed entirely.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what probably put us in our tailspin.
Mm-hmm.
The explosion of the helm in the first place.
It's possible. You also have no idea. Actually, Doc, roll me either history or arcana.
Natural 20 Arcana.
Okay, yeah, you
What
look
the
around.
fuck?
I got a 30.
Yeah, you look around, and you have no idea how you got here, but you know exactly where you are.
And the
That-
last thing that's said before we end it is, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's a good roll to get a nat 20. That way you know, oh, I shouldn't say shit about certain shit.
Hmm.
Or is it common knowledge about Fenris? I mean, or is it like customs and shit like that?
Because of where he's from, he would know. He kind of gets the same story about Fenris that you get about the Thousand Sons and Prospero.
Okay. In that case, it was a very good roll to get on that 20 on.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea of where you were when you were fighting the monster, Doc, you were fighting the monster in the sphere of ocean.
And what was this monster like?
It looked like a squid with black skin that was the size of a space whale.
Got it.
Yeah, and where you are now is the sphere of freeze.
I never freeze.
Yeah. So
Shut the fuck up. No, Doc. Bad Doc.
He said
I'm
freeze.
just
Bad
I said
Doc.
I never
just ignoring
freeze.
that. Ignoring it. Yeah, so your character is probably the only one who would be aware of how far you've actually come.
Got it.
And I think that will be a good place to pick up next week.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So,
Oh god.
everyone
My
enjoy
HP.
session 0?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Has everyone
I
enjoyed
took it.
session 0 then?
Yes,
Yes.
I have.
Yes.
Been a hellhole. Hellhole? Come on, Seeger, stop having a stroke. It's been a shit show.
Hey,
I've
Great
got to
show.
have a dramatic moment of death.
How did you think I was going to get you away from your tribe?
the minute Casey
To be honest,
said, and there's the ship plummeted to her trying to oh.
I kind of figured we would just be the tribe, like exist as the tribe, or in it.
I thought that too, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you go, oh,
I mean,
tribe.
it would very reasonably explain downtime. Now we kind of have to go day by day.
Yeah.
I have... There are some plans. I will say that your tribe does have allies.
Mm.
There are other
Well, I mean-
tribes that you are friendly with, that you know how to
Yeah.
find.
Okay.
I mean,
So there
if you get shit out
are
of-
some options for that to come into play, but it's not going to immediately be so.
Oh god, I haven't put up with the
I mean, I do
language.
have this, so that'll help us out a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that will be a big help
Yeah.
for this.
That's a great thing. Is that the
Mm-hmm.
Outlander
No, it's just
or Feet?
No, that's just a
That is
ranger.
a ranger class feature.
Oh,
Yeah, that will be
I still
very
need to decide on.
And I actually-
those.
I have like a +4 to survival myself.
Everyone's proficient.
Yeah,
in it, so
Yeah, pretty much everyone here, aside from maybe Doc, the wizard, will have survival.
Yeah, I think so too. I think everybody would have at least dotted one in the survival. If not, that's weird.
I mean,
Well, I
it
have a
came with the
+3 to
background.
survival, so.
yeah.
But are
You
you
get
proficient in
expertise with your background. What?
Yeah. Speaking
All
of, speaking of background, I haven't chosen any yet.
You, can only
don't
pick
get
one.
you. It's Fenrisian tribeman or the priest.
You're not a priest, so
Yeah.
kind of narrows it
Yeah.
down.
I haven't looked at that yet.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So you-
what
you-
was the I'm still doing basic stuff because I haven't had this time this week to look at it. I was going to do it today, and because I had 3 weeks, someone told me.
Yeah,
And now
they
it's-
kind of finished the other one pretty quick.
Yeah, so I was.
If you need
expecting
the
this.
reference though, if anyone loses it, if you look under handouts,
Yeah, I'm
Fury of
looking at
Fenris
that,
campaign document, and it is there.
Yeah, so the basic language what I read is basically Juvik and Vorgen
Yes.
or Vorkat.
Again, Kim, I think we should just default to Swedish and Norwegian whenever we want to make like language difficulties when talking
I
to
do
one of the
approve of that.
survivors. And
agree.
we'll give Seeger a few words to say.
It's going to end with me sitting here like this, like, okay, how do I reverse engineer what he just
But
said?
you need to.
You can't reverse
so.
engineer Swedish. It's impossible.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's an alien Elvish language.
Figure,
But-
that is the joke. That is
You
the
have
joke.
to- yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
Imagine
so
you have
we
to
just
make it
need
thick.
Yeah, so we give you like 6 words, and then you just need to say every third word is like a Swedish word, and then Doc will need to kind of decipher what you're trying to say. It's great. But knowing his roles this session, I'm sure he's gonna crit every single one of these, and he's gonna understand that, oh, actually I'm fluent in this. I studied it in college, and
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
like Stargate went into this a lot with like language barriers between people, like because it's not exactly an entirely different language. It's just a different dialect. We all speak the same way, and we all impart the same level of emotion generally through our voice. That's how it's normally translated. You
Tone is
figure
something that's
context.
universal.
yeah,
first,
I'm
and
not
then
saying that
it's-
we won't be able to talk to each other. I'm saying it would be fun if we can fuck
Also,
with them.
does anyone speak Giant? Any of you two speak Giant?
Nope.
Damn.
I mean, I have one extra language because I'm a priest, but I didn't know what to pick because Casey said there are 2 languages on Fenris, so I can't pick my third.
What would probably be good for a third language for you would be...
Primordial.
Unless
Actually,
any of you...
Primordial probably would be the right one.
Okay.
There we go.
Casey,
I was about to
Hey,
say-
I have Primordial. Look at that.
can I get a language
Yeah.
that my god would speak then? Because I have a third language.
Oh, most gods speak Celestial?
Well, in this case, the language of Rust would actually still be Warcant.
Yep.
That's the most holy language you can speak.
Yeah, for
Yep.
us, yeah, Warcant would still be...
So the enemies of him would speak.
Wolf.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't necessarily know that language because it's
No.
one of those things where to know that language is to be
Blasphemy.
corrupted by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So
I'd
I
probably
need
say
help with
actually
the third.
Primordial would probably be the language for you as well.
Oh, okay.
Would
Just because
Giant
there are some
Based on the maps, yeah.
elemental type creatures on the planet that would speak Primordial.
Yeah. Could I mean, the only exception that I would ask is demonic. If that would even be referenced in this world.
There's...
You wouldn't really encounter that.
Be right back.
No, okay.
In this world, most of the things that are the creatures of darkness would speak either Rylethian or Chaos Tongue or something
Yeah.
like that, which are
I wouldn't touch those
in
anyhow.
and
So.
of themselves, they are considered, if you know them, then you are learning evil's ways.
Are-
And
Yeah.
do any of those happen to also to basically be abyssal or infernal?
no.
No. Okay, so that's still separate. Okay,
Would Sylvan be acceptable?
Yeah, I'd accept Sylvan.
Do any of the beasts here speak Sylvan?
Ask me anything factual and I'll answer it.
Or is it more like you're imitating their language, like their body language and crap?
Sylvan would allow communication with things with some of the more intelligent beasts of the planet. Yeah, big one would probably be the Fenrisian wolves. Would probably actually speak Sylvan.
Cool. And is Giant acceptable still?
It'd be very rare, but if you want it, I will allow it.
Well, I mean, it's common with it comes with the Goliath.
Yeah,
Giant.
Goliath all speak
Oh.
giant.
Yeah.
In
So
the
you
terms
can
of
have it, but it's very rarely spoken.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have abyssal and infernal. I doubt I'm ever going to come across that.
in terms of tools, Casey,
Mhm.
but based on the timeline we're playing, would you say sharpening stone?
You mean a
Yeah,
whetstone?
you could certainly have a whetstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that as a tool.
Yeah, this is a very odd kind of society because it's almost artificially kept in the Stone Age, with this one central point in the world that's in the Iron Age.
That is weird because that skips a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Also, Casey,
But the,
should I? You go.
no, I just was going to say because whetstone is not something that, or sharpening stone is not something that you usually would have in the Stone Age, but it's something that would come into the Iron Age. That's why I
Yeah.
wondered if I could have it as a tool.
Yeah, you
in,
certainly could
instead.
because it would be something that you traded with the Iron Masters to get.
Yeah. And I used it on my battle axes to keep them sharp.
Yeah.
Because I've seen someone else do it
Whoa.
in my own village.
Oh, well, I mean,
A sharp.
here's the thing to bear in mind, is that you, as a Fenrisian villager who has been to the Isle of the Iron Masters, understands exactly what they're doing. You just know that in your village, in your life, it doesn't apply.
Oh.
You understand
You just know
the technology that they're using. It's not like it's some alien magic. You know they're forging metal and they're, forging blades, and that it all makes sense. It's not like you can't understand that it's there. It's just not something that you can do when you're living in a boat and moving from island to island, because that's the way of life.
I think that was my biggest holdup. Of like, I was thinking the tribesmen were not understanding it instead of knowing about it.
Yeah, they understand it completely. It's just not relevant to them.
Yeah.
They trade with the Iron Masters because the Star Wolves have declared that one city is safe from the floods. And that one tribe can stay in that city and craft and forge and provide for the world's weapons. So everybody else brings materials that they find to that place and brings them food and brings them supplies and brings them all the things that they don't hunt for themselves and trades them for metal weapons and
Okay, so they are the sole craftsmen of the world, basically.
Yes. Yeah,
Is it
they
an
are a
acceptable
city
idea
of
to?
crafters.
Is it an acceptable idea to try to join them? Do tribes ever try to merge with the Iron Masters?
On rare occasion, you might have an individual who is either an outcast from their tribe or who no longer has a tribe, who might go and try to basically beseech their way into becoming one of the Iron Masters.
So Kim could have, if he would have been like, okay, I'm very good at craftsmanship, he could kind of petition himself to join them after he lost his clan.
Yeah, he would basically sell himself into a indentured servitude, and at the end of 10 years or whatever, if he'd proven that he knew what he was doing, then they would buy him out of his servitude and give him citizenship. Basically, would be the way it would be looked at. But then the other side of it is that the Iron Masters never leave their island.
Why would they? They have it good there.
Exactly. They're the one place in the world that no one will attack it, because everyone gets their weapons from there. It's the epitome of neutrality. On top of that, no one will attack it because they have stuff you don't have.
Yeah.
And, even if they're not out fighting all the time, I mean, to the extent that the Iron Masters, although they will not ever sell or trade them to the tribes, they actually do have some limited black powder weaponry. So...
Guys, we gotta make our way up to the Iron Masters.
I mean, I think this will come
Dog
later.
would be great there.
Yeah, hang on. This will come way later, but I think
Yeah,
that
it was a joke.
if we're gonna help them escape, which I think will be a big part of our quest, we will either need to go to one of the one of the subsurface ships that landed here before, like the hive ships, and try to recover a helm from there, or it will be part of trying to visit the Iron Masters to then, through them, petition the Star Wolves.
Yeah,
So
it is worth
we'll
noting.
decide.
It is worth noting that the only two ways to contact the Star Wolves on the planet that are known are through a shaman receiving a vision, which is completely not in your control, but if it happens, then you can contact them through it. Or there is a temple at the island of the Iron Masters, which allows you to contact the Star Wolves.
Yeah. So we have if that's the course that we're going, that would be two ways of kind of try to acquire a helm that I see. But I'm just saying. On a side note, Casey, could you explain the Wolf of War to me? Because I don't see how that will be a benefit towards me.
Let me just bring it up.
Level 14. The one thing that I think is very good is to gain resistance to all damage. So the way it would be used is basically to activate it to then run away, or to defense in case he gets cornered, or what's the intended use?
I'm just having a look now.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you are engaged in combat, you gain the ability to summon the Wolf of War. Requires an action. Your size increases by 1. You gain +2 natural armor. You gain a bite attack that deals piercing damage, claw attacks which deal slashing damage, resistance to all damage, advantage on strength and dexterity checks and saving throws. You cannot maintain focus on any psychic discipline.
Or use any.
Yeah, it basically shifts you into a combat monster.
It's a it's a
werewolf.
supercharged. It's a very powerful polymorph, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a combat monster form.
It's like a much stronger polymorph.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, what it does is it makes you, it turns you into a vessel for the rage of the wolf god to come down and take chunks out of your enemies.
Nice.
It's like the shaman's kind of ultra rage ability.
Sure. I was just thinking, like, at level 14, one usually has a legendary weapon of kind, or
at level 14, that's not a very good ability at level 14.
So I was thinking, like, in that case, I wouldn't be able to have my super staff, and I would instead hit people with 1d8 plus strength, which I'm not focusing, which is that's why I'm like.
I might rework the damage on it a bit. I might look at the damage of it. I might need to rebalance that a bit. I might have made it a little bit too weak in trying not to go overboard. But the idea is that it is a combat form.
Okay, sure. I just wanted to check if I missed something.
I also am realizing right away that I left off the multi-attack, which it would have. I'll rework that. Make it a bit more beneficial.
Cool. Good session, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it there.
Yeah. Let's try not to kill each other next session too.
Yeah, speaking of that, Casey, my Heart of Darkness might be a small issue at some points. It'll help, but it might also do bad things.
Yep.
Yeah, and
because it causes fear as well.
And Seeger, the two of us will need to do rock paper scissors about who has Korg's voice, and I'm just.
Well, who's gonna be Meek? What's Meek's voice? A little ticking.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I will see you later on.
See ya.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay.